Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal, and like I always say, if you are somebody that loves literature and is all about literature, then this is the channel for you. In our video today, we are going to continue our discussion on literary terms, literary devices, and figures of speech. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the literary device that we're going to deal with today and talk about and clear our concept of is allusion. So we're going to understand what allusion means, what this whole concept is all about, and how is it related to other concepts so that we understand its usage even better as far as literature is concerned. So an allusion is a literary device where a text makes a brief and indirect reference to a person, place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. So what do you have to remember? That it makes a brief and indirect reference. Allusion is a reference, okay? It's a brief. These are the keywords, okay? I'll just mark the keywords. I think it's better if I mark the keywords. So you have brief, this is one. Indirect, this is one. Reference, brief indirect reference to a person. It can be anything: person, place, thing, or idea. You see, idea, abstract things also. Idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. So this is what an allusion is. You refer to something. It can be anything. It can be a person, a place, a thing, a historical, cultural, literary episode, something that has happened in the past. You can refer to anything. This is what an allusion is. It doesn't describe the reference in detail. It does not. That is, suppose I say, oh my god, you're such an Einstein. I am not going to give you the whole biodata of Einstein. I'm not going to go to the history of his life. I'm not going to go into his contributions. I am not going to go into his birth up until his death story. I'm not going to give you his life story. I'm just saying, oh, you're such an Einstein. So when I allude to or refer to Einstein, you can understand that I'm indicating, or I am kind of implying, that the person I'm talking to is smart, right? So it does not describe the reference. When I say you're such a Romeo, I am not going to talk about Shakespeare and his contribution and Romeo and Juliet the play. I am just saying that you are Romeo. So I'm not describing this reference in detail. Instead, on the reader's or audience's prior knowledge, to understand the connection and the additional layer of meaning it adds to the text. So it does not describe the reference, rather it relies on our knowledge. It relies on the audience or the reader's prior knowledge of the subject. So when somebody will say you're such an Einstein, I'm expected to know who Einstein is. If somebody says you're such a Romeo, that means I should know at least who Romeo was, who was the character of Romeo, what was he like, what is the story of Romeo and Juliet. Now, it depends on the reader's or audience's prior knowledge to understand the connection and the additional layer of meaning it adds to the text. What does this mean? That when I am, suppose I'm talking to somebody, okay, and this person is being smart, we're in a debate competition, and this person is being smart, and I'm saying, you don't be such an Einstein. You think you're an Einstein, though this person is saying everything wrong. I'm saying, you think that you're Einstein, suppose I'm saying. And then this person just comes at me and is like, how can you say this to me, and all that. It is a whole scene, right? I said it because in a context. I said it because of the situation. Similarly, when you read many works of literature, you'll see that allusions are employed in a situation, in a particular. Allusions are employed for impact, to highlight. They're placed in such a way that elevates the text, that will captivate the reader's mind. It's nothing so difficult. It just has, it puts an extra work on the reader's side. Like suppose, for example, I'm saying it again, that I am writing, or say, The Wasteland. Have you read the T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland? When I was doing it in masters also, it's very difficult for a person who does not have an idea okay, of the wasteland and what is it about, to actually figure out what the poet is talking about. When I first read The Wasteland, it was so confusing for me, because T.S. Eliot alludes to a lot of things. You know, when he's writing The Wasteland, he wants to actually show the degradation of the Western civilization, and he wants to, in The Wasteland, right, T.S. Eliot wants to show how the Western civilization, modern civilization, is essentially degrading, crumbling down, and he wants to, you know, reach out to the past. He wants to highlight what the past was like, you know, sort of like the golden age, what the past was like. He wants to highlight that, and while doing that, he alludes to a lot of things. So in The Wasteland, you'll actually need a reference book. When you read The Wasteland, you'll need, say, Google today, you'll need it by your side to actually figure out, you know, he actually refers to so many things. He refers to Hindu and Buddhist texts. He quotes from Hindu and Buddhist texts, their ideas. He talks about he alludes to or refers to Shakespeare, Dante, Baudelaire. He actually refers to so many texts, okay, that you have to actually use a reference. Our teachers used to give us these references, and then we used to go and do our own library work and figure out what is T.S. Eliot all talking about, and then come home and then again Google as to what is he actually trying to say, and then figure out what the poem is all about. So, you know, allusion, like Animal Farm. Now, if Animal Farm is an allegory, but it employs allusion, because Animal Farm allegory. What is an allegory? I told you in one of my other videos that allegory is an allegory is a literary device where it's a story, a poem, or a picture, okay, which actually tells a story. It has a hidden meaning. There are symbols. It has to be interpreted by the reader. That is, you will not get everything on the plate. Like Animal Farm, say, by George Orwell, okay, in George Orwell has written Animal Farm. If you do not understand what is he alluding to, what is he referring to, this allegory will just be like a fable to you. Animal characters talking. In Animal Farm, there are animal characters, right, that are employed. So if you do not know what the Russian Revolution was all about, if you read Animal Farm, you'll think it's like an allegory. It's just a fable, kind of an allegory, where animal characters are just talking. But when you read and you have a background check, you do a background check, you do a check on the references, you'll figure out that Animal Farm is actually about the Russian Revolution. And then you figure out the actual meaning of Animal Farm by George Orwell. So the thing about allusion is that it's a passing reference. Okay, it's a passing reference. It is not elaborate. They will not explain to you what is it about. It's just that you'll just, all that glitters is not gold. Done. They'll just talk about Shakespeare. Oh, you think you're Shakespeare? Oh, you think you're Romeo? Or they'll say, okay, you think you're Einstein? This is just layman's. I'm saying, okay, I'm saying great poets have, like T.S. Eliot, have made allusions, like in The Wasteland, like I said, which are phenomenal. And then you have to do your own side. You have to give your input and do your digging, and you have to go and see what do these references mean, and then it adds to the importance of the poem in its totality. So see, an allegory is a story, a poem, or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. Allegory, I told you, allegory, parable, fable, all give moral stories, moral lessons. Okay, this is what they are about. An allusion, on the other hand, is a brief and indirect reference. See, allegory also indirect, hidden meaning. Allusion also indirect, hidden meaning. But allegory can be extensive. Allegory can be explained. Allegory can be extended. Okay, it can be explained, like the like for example, Animal Farm, like I said, George Orwell's, is a whole it's a whole text, right? It's a whole text. But allusion is a passing reference. You just mention the name, say Shakespeare, or any work of Baudelaire or something. You just mention it here and there, okay? And it's up to the readers to infer it. We have to go and do our homework and figure out what do these actually mean. So it is an allusion, on the other hand, is a brief and indirect reference to a person, a place, a person, a place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. Essentially, an allegory uses an extended narrative, like I said, extended narrative to represent abstract ideas, while an allusion is a passing mention that relies on the reader's prior knowledge to grasp its meaning. So let us look at its characteristics. Implicit references. An allusion is not a direct statement or explanation, but rather a hint or a suggestion. Like I said, a hint or a suggestion. Then conciseness. They are typically brief and concise, often just a word or a phrase. So you'll find it in T.S. It's a classic example that I've given, T.S. Eliot's Wasteland. So because there's a lot of homework we have to do, like I said. So then you have the shared knowledge. It assumes that the reader or audience will recognize the reference and understand its implications. So when I say, oh, you're being such a Romeo, yeah. When I say something like that, I expect that you know who Romeo is. So similarly, when you read a literature, which of course is more in-depth, it's not as simple as what I'm saying. In literature, it's more complex, right? So when this passing reference is made, the writer assumes that we have knowledge about it. They expect that we know this, or they expect that we get to know this. So when we understand its implications, we understand what is the writer trying to say by alluding to these things. Okay, so figurative language, it's a form of figurative language adding depth and complexity to the text by connecting it to other works, ideas, or events. And this is the thing about literature. Okay, it's all encompassing. Like I said, it's connected to all the other subjects. So in allusion also, when you're actually drawing or referencing or alluding to these different ideas, different people, personalities, cultures, and histories, when you're mentioning them, it actually highlights the knowledge, okay, that you have. It highlights the importance of these events. It adds to the depth of the poem. It adds to your knowledge system and the reader's knowledge system, and it also highlights how rich this output is. So this is what allusion does, and this is essentially what literature is. It's not just about storybooks, it's not just about reading storybooks, it's about reading between the lines. It's connected to all the other subjects in some way or the other, and you have to know history, you have to do a background check, you have to know things in order to infer things. So this is what allusion is. Allusions enrich a text by adding layers of meaning, emotional resonance, or thematic depth without needing lengthy explanations. So they can, like, for example, like I said, again, I'm giving this example again and again because it's easy to understand. If I say that, oh, you're being so Shakespeareish, or if I say, okay, you're being so, you think you're an Einstein, it is over here, I'm not giving a lengthy explanation, it's a thematic depth without needing lengthy explanations. You're just, a small word, this name, Einstein, encompasses so many things. It encompasses the idea of being a genius. It encompasses the whole body of science. It encompasses the world. It encompasses, so many things are contained in this little word. If I say, oh, you're being so Romeo, love, passion, going behind things you love and desire, bravery, relentlessness, all of that is concentrated in that one word, Romeo. Okay. And these kind of things, one word would highlight a lot, it'll add a lot of depth, and when you go again and see what do these things actually mean, it adds to the meaning of the poem. Okay, so this is what it is. And they can evoke a complex set of ideas or feelings in a few words. Examples: a reference to a Garden of Eden can allude to the biblical story of creation and its themes of innocence and temptation. Saying someone is a real Romeo alludes to Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet and suggests a romantic and passionate nature. Essentially, an allusion acts as a shortcut, allowing writers to evoke a wealth of associations and meanings with a single concise reference. With one reference in this one little word, there's a wealth of reason, there's a wealth of knowledge, there's a wealth of ideas that can be explored. So this is what allusion actually means. So I added allegory over here because it's the closest. Okay, allusion can be closely analyzed with allegory, but they're not related to each other. So this is a shorter video compared to my other videos because I have dealt with only one literary device here, and in my other videos I've dealt with 2-3, right, that are related to each other to highlight the differences and similarities as well. So this is like in-depth concept clearing. If these are cleared, if these concepts are cleared, then it's easier for our exams, of course. But as literature students, reading becomes more enjoyable because you can spot these when you read. Whenever you read a work, you can actually spot all of these literary devices, and it becomes even more interesting. So because it becomes even more interesting, it's very essential that we clear our concept of these words, and that's what I've tried to do in our video today. So if this video has been of help to you, then please consider liking my videos, sharing my videos, and subscribing to my channel for similar content. And till we meet again, I really hope that you stay healthy and happy. See you in the next one, guys.